This is the Main Event, Mark's podcast, brought to you by the Unhinged Sports Network, now on the Belly Up Sports Network. I am your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, and cat dad, Troy. And with me, as always, is the WWE Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia and the Main Event Collector. He is the Eddie Guerrero to my Rey Mysterio. He's Greg. What's up, Greg?
What's up? Finally got a good one.
And if I was Justin Roberts, I would have made sure I would have rolled out the R's for Rey Mysterio.
Speaking of Justin Roberts, what's some news on him this week, huh? Like I never knew about.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What was that he was on? Jerry Springer?
Yeah, you didn't watch the clip?
No, I was driving at the time.
You need to watch the clip. It's some of the worst acting you'll ever see. If people were ever confused as to whether or not Jerry Springer was legit, this will tell you how not legit it is. His acting is terrible. You need to watch this right when we're done. It's only 50 seconds long.
Please tell me he at least got choked out with a tie.
No, that was more entertaining than this, though.
Oh man, well that sucks.
But if anyone wants to see it, just type Justin Roberts, Jerry Springer on there.
Anyway, well, this was before Justin Roberts being in the WWE, I believe. We're going all the way back to 2005 for this one today, man. And this was a damn good show. You know, 2 weeks ago when I said 1991 SummerSlam wasn't going to make my top 5, this one will make my top 5. My fave 5.
Yeah. Wow. Right? We didn't even plan that, by the way, folks.
That's sad that our minds went to the same place at the same time. Well, is it weird that this year, and I know we're talking about this in retrospect, but SummerSlam is taking place on a Saturday night? Like, the hell is that about?
And in a stadium.
Yeah.
I forgot that part.
I'd forgot until somebody on Twitter was like, I totally forgot that SummerSlam was on a Saturday, and then I thought to myself, why the F is SummerSlam on a Saturday? I was like, now I got a plan.
Corey Graves and Jimmy Smith and Byron Saxton all night were saying Sunday.
Oh, for God's sake.
Sunday,
I'm sure they were. And then you got Vince McMahon in the back. God dang it, say Saturday.
Sunday's the NXT show.
We're talking about SummerSlam 2005. I'm going to assume you watched this one live on pay-per-view, right?
I did.
Okay. I did not. So this was actually my first time viewing this event start to finish, and I loved it. Not to ruin the final ratings, whatever.
Watching it back, I forgot how much I loved it.
Yeah, and some people are saying it's like 2005 was a stacked year for WWE, and not everything was, oh my gosh, that was holy crap. But most things were really damn good. So definitely go back. We reviewed WrestleMania 21, which was earlier this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so that is now in the archives. Go check that out. That was a good WrestleMania. This is going to be a damn good
anything
SummerSlam.
with Big Show showing his ass is already a good WrestleMania to me.
Yeah, I mean, I turned WrestleMania off after that because I was like, well, that's the main event. It's not going to get any better.
We peaked, folks.
Yeah, it's all downhill from Big Show's dimpled ass. Man, anyway. But yeah, so we're going to dive into all the news and notes, and we have plenty. I didn't think I was going to have a lot, but oddly enough, we have quite a bit. I don't know about oddly enough, but we do have quite a bit that we'll get into. And that'll be coming up here on the other side of this break. But before we get into that break, the Main Event Marks is sponsored by Fanatics. Get your officially licensed sports gear now over at fanatics.com. Click on the link down to the podcast description. Let them know that the Unhinged Sports Network and the Main Event Marks sent you. Also, we're excited to announce our new sponsorship with Swift Lifestyles. They are clean energy drinks and focus enhancers, great tasting vitamins, and big brain nootropics that are made and shipped from the U.S. of A. Go to swiftlifestyles.com and use our special promo code MainEventMarks, that's all one word, and get 15% off your order. And for all of you listening on the podcast feed, first of all, thank you. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. That helps us get seen. And we really appreciate the positive feedback or the negative feedback, whatever. We appreciate, any feedback you can give us, and we truly read it all, listen to it all, and take it all under advisement. thank you. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe as well. Look us up, Main Event Marks. We should pop up right away on YouTube. And subscribe, tick the little notification bell as well, and check out all of our great content on there. But if you are listening that way and you want to hear us live, we play live every Wednesday on the Unhinged Sports Network. It's Unhinged Radio. It is all free, and it is on unhingedsn.airtime.pro. We play live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and then the immediate replay is at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, right after that show. We also have replays Thursdays, Fridays, and Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's on unhingedsn.airtime.pro. But all right, we're gonna go into our first break. But before we do, I gotta prepare and open up the old Bud Light. And I don't have to drink for this. I'm just gonna drink for this. Now, if anybody listened to the bonus show last week, you might want to pop open a cold one for that. But this one is good. Lord. We're gonna take our first break. When we come back on the other side of this break,
great Brian Laskin. He has to be high to watch AEW.
But all right, well, we're going to take our break. When we come back, news and notes time from the summer 2005.
Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event_Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event_Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get all the best podcast swag from the Main Event Marks. Our merch shop offers custom graphics, including the podcast logo, on hats, shirts, masks, greeting cards, and more. There are tons of new designs, with more dropping all the time. Just head on over to redbubble.com/people/Main Event Marks to grab your podcast merch today and become an official Main Event Mark. That's redbubble.com/people/Main Event Marks. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
And we are back.
We're back. By the way, someone asked me where they said, I've heard that before. I stole it from Smart Mark Sterling on the Major Pod, so I want to make sure to say that out loud so everyone knows I'm not plagiarizing him. If I flat out say I'm using it because he used it, it's not stealing, right?
It's a tribute.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not stealing if you label it a tribute.
Right. Someone's like, where did I hear that before? It's like, I flat out told him. I didn't play stupid. Oh, I don't know. I came up with
it. Yeah, right. Well, hey, dedication. There you go. An imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, or so I've heard. Before we dive into all the news and notes, real quick, just want to let you know that Yeats aims to provide the most unique and high-quality sunglasses on the market at an unbeatable price. They're built from the latest manufacturing techniques. Yeats shades are made for comfort, durability, and big Yeet moments. And on top of that, a percentage of all profits go towards beach cleanups and other community outreach programs. No matter your style, their shades are here to help you chase your vision. Go to yeetsofficial.com and use the promo code BELLYUPPOD to save 10% at checkout. That's YEETZ. That's yeetsofficial.com, and put in that promo code BELLYUP, BELLYUPPOD, to save yourself 10% at checkout. But I'll give you the choice, Greg. Do you want to cover WWE news first or close with it?
Let's start with it. Yeah, that way we don't close with only all different stuff.
All right, sounds good. Well, Chris Jericho's contract expired a while before SummerSlam, and he's been working on a short-term extension. So that I believe, because isn't he gone the very next? Yeah, well, yeah, but isn't he gone the very next night?
Yeah, that's when he gets dragged out by security, right?
Yep. And
I still laugh when Idiot Fan was go, oh, they buried him on his way out. He said himself that he begged for that. So
yeah, he said ideally he said he wanted that to be like the last moment of his entire career. I mean, not right then and there, but he said like down the line when he decided to retire.
2 years. Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, he had to go off and make music, man. So, and he's still making music to this day.
Some of it's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, I don't have an entire Fozzy playlist, but I have a huge chunk of Fozzy in various playlists I have created. So it's good to work out
with
to.
Jesus, Nowhere to Run. Those are the two best, I think.
Drinking with Jesus is probably my number one, right up there with Judas. Those are my top two favorites. Anyway, speaking of him, according to Chris Jericho himself, he was pegged to work with Carlito at SummerSlam, but after pitching the idea for what his match with John Cena would be to Vince directly, plans were changed.
Hashtag plans changed.
Yeah. If this came from anywhere else but Chris Jericho himself, I'd say it was BS, but I'm sure that really did happen. He's pretty open and honest about his career. So, and I mean, him and Carlito would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been this match. This match was, I mean, we'll get into it, but yeah, it's not in the same league. Brock Lesnar will not be coming back to the WWE yet.
Another 6 years.
Right.
7 years. 7.
Yeah, something like that.
12, I think. Yeah.
Okay. The company went public last month about ongoing contract negotiations with Lesnar, to the point of Lesnar having a contract in hand last week. He was given a written offer 2 weeks ago, and the WWE management was growing frustrated with how long it was taking Lesnar to sign it. The terms of the deal were mostly verbally agreed to, but then it came out that Brock will not be signing. Why? Don't know.
Because he's got to go to fight or UFC.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Hey, I want to get punched in the face a few times first.
No, he doesn't. That's the problem. That's the big criticism of him. He did not like getting hit in the face.
Yeah, right. Well, he had to go have a scar put under his eye by Cain Velasquez,
which is still there.
Oh yeah.
Like it's only getting worse. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I see him, it's like accentuated.
Well, there's a scar under his one eye, and then he's got a chipped tooth. I don't know who gave him the chipped tooth.
Because if he didn't already look badass enough.
Yeah, cauliflower ear, scar under the eye, chipped tooth, freaking a damn dagger tattooed on his chest. Like, man, that's a guy that you just you run away screaming from.
Right.
And hey, to his credit, didn't he knock out Randy Couture?
I think it was the TKO, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, say what you want, but
at the tail end of his career in his 40s, though. But
yeah, I mean, I get it. It wasn't prime Couture, but at the same time, I'd take a Couture at the end of his career over most fighters. I mean, he was damn good up until the end there. Here's one I didn't know about at this time, but Dusty Rhodes has been in discussions with Stephanie McMahon about signing with the WWE on the creative team. Most recently, Rhodes was head of creative at TNA. According to Bruce Pritchard, when Stephanie basically asked Dusty for a resume, he sent her a copy of his book. Oh, man. That is kind of funny. He's like, this is me, baby. Read about it. The American Dream.
There's certain people you don't need to ask a resume for. Like, do you think, anybody ever asked for... Do you think Tampa Bay wanted a resume of Tom Brady? I mean...
Yeah, do you think Shad Khan called up Urban Meyer and was like, so, can you send me a copy of your resume, maybe a cover letter, and we'll chat?
What have they really done, really, when you think about it?
Yeah, I know. He just sends, the OSU record books for the past couple of seasons.
Or just a picture of all the trophies, whatever.
Yeah, the trophies, his record against Michigan. He's like, need I say more? Man. Hey, Urban Meyer, who made an appearance on an AEW pay-per-view, by the way.
And Dynamite.
Oh, was he on Dynamite too?
Yeah, when they were talking about said pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wow. They've had a lot of really weird cameos or just, appearances.
But to be fair, that one's not that weird. That one is more forced, if you ask me, but,
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's like, man.
I mean, but in its purest form, it is organic, technically, because he does coach the Jags. So I guess, there's not really much you can say to argue that.
If Tony Khan was a little smarter about things, you'd think he'd try to pull a Ted Turner and make the Jaguars like America's new football team and really put them over. He's
Well,
like,
the
hey,
Braves
guys.
are at least winning National League championships. They only won one World Series. I won't say against two because that might hurt. But they only won one World Series in that whole thing. But at least they were winning titles. That's my point.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not saying they're good. I'm just saying, he could push. And he was like, hey, if I have to say one positive thing about the Jaguars, I think their uniforms look cool.
I'll give them that.
And their helmets, where it goes from it fades from black into gold. I don't know. I always thought that was a cool color scheme.
Yeah, and their quarterback looks like Fabio, so there's that.
Hell yeah, he just pulls off his helmet and just in slow-mo shakes his hair back and forth.
Good God.
Anyway, Jamie Noble and Brian Kendrick were both re-signed to WWE around this time. Cool. I can't say Brian Kendrick is still there because he left and then came back, but I think he's still on payroll.
I want to say twice.
Maybe, yeah. I think he's still on payroll right now. Jamie Noble, did they release him or is he still on payroll?
He's still there because I saw him break up a fight a couple weeks ago. So.
Okay. Cool. He didn't get the axe yet, so that's good. Here's a funny one. Tatanka returns to WWE on the Raw before SummerSlam to take on Eugene.
Yeah.
Look.
He would return at the Royal Rumble semi full time too.
Yeah. I just I like Tatanka, but what?
They were all out of people. I think the Brooklyn Brawler was booked that week, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I have a Jax figure of Tatanka during this run.
I have 2 Mattel figures of him.
Yeah, from his original 90s run.
His original 90s run, one with the tights, one with the long pants. So
right.
Long tights, whatever.
The tights was from which I know we reviewed.
I want to say it's WrestleMania 8. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, because now in the archives, people go check it out. Tatanka wears tights, and it is weird. My favorite was when he goes they do those vignettes where he's going to speak with his fellow tribesmen and stuff like that, and he's in full ring gear, the trunks, the loincloth, the boots, the knee pads.
And the knee pads are the funniest.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I think most of the other Native Americans around there are wearing jeans and whatever. They're all in Wranglers and he's in little trunks.
And here people thought Cena was the first one to do that stuff.
Yeah. I think freaking everybody in the 90s did that crap, and it was goofy as hell, man.
I don't know. I gotta disagree. I think he was keeping in character. I think it was method acting.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, but sometimes it's just why are you wearing elbow pads in public, bro?
I feel like the pads are what gets everyone.
Yeah. It's
maybe Cena really does dress like that, but who the hell wears elbow or knee pads all the time? Just
I know. It's okay, the other stuff, whatever. You're wearing jorts, Reeboks, and, sweatbands. Fine.
Nobody's wearing Reeboks. What are you talking about?
He is, or was, I don't know. But it's if you're wearing knee pads out on a football field to make an appearance, weird, dude. He's just
football players not wearing knee pads?
I don't know. They wear pads in their pants, I guess. I don't know. Here's one we got to talk about it, dude. I forgot that this was around this time. We got to talk about it. Chavo Guerrero recently denounced his Hispanic heritage on WWE television.
Oh, good God.
And claimed to be America's great white hope. He will now be repackaged as Kerwin White. Oh my gosh.
Also, would debut Dolph Ziggler, I gotta say, by the way.
Yep. He was the caddy. Because Kerwin White, this was Chavo dressed basically like Carlton from Fresh Prince. And he bleached his hair, shaved his face, and he would drive a golf cart to the ring. He came out to some Frank Sinatra sounding song. The only lyric I remember of it is something about I take my coffee by the pool. And Dolph Ziggler was his angry looking caddy. It's man, he had a look on his face like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world right now. It's man, if you're hating life now, just give it like another year.
Think about this. I mean, he went like you say that, and then like, okay, fine, male cheerleader. Okay, fine, anything's better than this. Is it?
I know. Yeah, I know. It's like, I'd rather be the caddy.
Oh.
This is real, by the way. This is not a fever dream. This was 1,000% real. Look it up. YouTube it. I'm not joking. This all happened for real.
You can't make this stuff up, and why would you? He's wasting everybody's time.
I know. Like, who the hell pitched this where they're like, hey, you know, Chavo Guerrero, a member of the world-famous Guerrero wrestling dynasty, the son of Chavo Guerrero
Proud
Sr.
Mexican dynasty, I might add.
Yes.
That needs to be said.
Yes, they're very Mexican. They're from El Paso, Texas, and, you know, big names in Mexico and America. They all speak English and Spanish. And, we're going to make him a white guy. Like, what? Oh my gosh. And it gets better. His quote, catchphrase, whatever, was...
I didn't want to say
it. his catchphrase was, if it ain't white, it ain't right. And then they thought...
I chose to believe he was talking about, like, you know, plain shirts. Because nobody wears, like, a plain color shirt. You know what I mean? Everyone wears, like, a plain white t-shirt from Hanes. I chose to believe it that way because it was less racist. So.
Hey, you can't, you know, wear white after Labor Day, all right? So he's wrong. And then they thought...
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. And then they decided maybe that's a little too much, so we're going to have them change it up to the much less offensive, if it isn't Kerwin white, it isn't right.
Damage is already done, dude.
Yep, this happened. And when Conrad Thompson asked Bruce Pritchard, he's like, why was Dolph Ziggler the caddy? And Bruce said, because he knew how to carry the clubs.
Wow.
Or he said something about, like, he knew which club to use or something like that. Like, what the hell?
I can see him licking his forefinger, put in the air. Oh, I feel like a 9-iron here.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Well, you know, Kerwin White sure isn't going to pick a caddy like, you know, Will Smith's character because of, you know, reasons.
All right. I did, like, I have to point out that the whole thing went away because Eddie Guerrero passed away. I'm like, that's what took it. That's what it had to happen for this to go away.
Yeah, right.
Man.
Like, dude, somebody literally died, and then they were like, maybe it's too much. That's pathetic. That means this went on for a while. All right.
No, really, only about 2 months.
That's too long.
Okay.
Around this time, Hulk Hogan and family appeared on Larry King Live to promote Hogan Knows Best. This was because after record-setting ratings in the first couple of weeks, week 3 of the show had a 50% drop in viewership. Yeah.
I didn't understand that because how's it going to be good for 2 weeks also on the third? I mean, if it happened the second week, okay. So, what, two episodes were good or what?
I'm going to blame it on, they tuned in week 1 because, god dang it, it's Hulk Hogan, out of, you know, perverse curiosity. They tuned in week 2 thinking, maybe, you know, it gets better. I don't know. And after week 2, they're like, nah, I'm done. Like,
trust me, it doesn't get better.
Yeah, no.
There were a few fun episodes, I'll say that.
The only thing I remember specifically about the show, besides Brian Knobbs being on almost every effing episode, I remember there was one episode where Nick asked his dad, he was like, so when you were like, hitting on chicks back in the day, like what pickup line did you use? And he was like, you want to come back to my hotel room, get naked and wear my title belt?
Wow.
I'm like, holy crap. Very honest, but you know, yeah, right. Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. Did you ever watch Hogan Knows Best? Like a lot of it?
I did, yeah.
What did you think? Yay, nay?
I thought it was a reality show, so take that for what you will.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that.
All reality shows suck, so there you go.
Yeah. And he's, well, except for Robin Big. I will stand by, that's one of the greatest shows of all time. Reality or not.
I don't know what the hell that is, so.
Rob Dyrdek and Big Black, man. Come on. And Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory is good stuff.
I'm blanking on who any of those people are, so.
Do you know what that show Ridiculousness is?
No.
Oh, it's like they show like viral internet clips and make fun of them, or whatever. It plays like a million times a day on MTV. So
I don't watch MTV either, so okay.
okay, so yeah, those were literally anything with Rob Dyrdek on it was the only shows that I ever watched on MTV. Rob's like a famous skateboarder from Ohio, so that's the only reason I know him.
Was he in the Tony Hawk games?
No, he's in the skate games. He's more of a street skater. The Tony Hawk games usually featured like anybody who would be at like the X Games and whatever. Like that's usually in there. But anyway, speaking of the Hogan family, it was proposed by Vince McMahon that Shawn Michaels super kicked Nick Hogan leading up to the Hogan-Michaels match at SummerSlam. Shawn turned it down, saying he didn't want to be that strong of a heel, and he didn't feel that the match needed more bells and whistles. I don't know, man. I feel like super kicking Nick might have taken it in the opposite direction and made him more of a face.
I was waiting for Bobby Lashley to beat the hell out of Goldberg's son last night, and it didn't happen. So, yeah.
I saw a picture of that. I didn't watch it, but I saw a picture. I was like, "Holy crap! Is that Goldberg's son?" Like, man, time flies, man.
Yeah.
I remember him being like a small little kid. Now I'm like, damn, and he looks like damn near exactly like his dad. Like if you look at old pictures when Goldberg had hair and playing football, I'm like, damn, dude, you are damn near a clone of your father. Yeah, so the originally planned finish for the Hogan-Michaels match at SummerSlam has been discussed to possibly change from Hogan going over Shawn to Shawn beating Hogan, doing a return match at Unforgiven where HBK goes down to a leg drop, and then they have a blow-off at WrestleMania. The reasoning behind this is that Shawn doesn't want to be 0-1 against Hulk, and that's it, especially when he's a full-time performer, and Hogan won't wrestle again after this. Wade Keller of the Pro Wrestling Torch inserts that if Bret Hart could be brought back to WWE, he's owed a win over the Hulkster as well. Yeah.
When Hulk beat him, what is he owed?
Yeah, I know. It's like, my thing about it is like, who's owed a win? Like, it's a show. Like, I don't know. It's like, well, you beat me, so I have to beat you. Why?
Egos.
Yeah. I will say, I think a trilogy of matches could have been cool, but you ever notice that, like, whenever they have a planned out trilogy with Shawn, it never works out?
That might be telling right there. But...
Yeah, right. Him and Vader. I mean, that one, the kibosh was put on that by Shawn himself. This one was by Hogan, but still, like, I don't know. Not to give away things too early, but this one was damn good. I don't know if a return match would have been as good, but you never know. They could have kept it up. Mania 22, that was him and Shawn and Kurt, right?
No.
No, that was 20. Okay, that was 21. That's right. Yeah, so either way, he would have been taking on a muscled old tanned-up dude at WrestleMania.
From the glory days. The golden age.
Right, yeah. The only difference is Hulk could still wrestle at this point. For the first time in nearly a decade, WrestleMania will return to Chicago when Raw and SmackDown present WWE WrestleMania 22 live from the Allstate Arena on Sunday, April 2nd, 2006. If history is any indication, WrestleMania tickets will not last long. Prior to last year's WrestleMania 21 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, fans had claimed all available tickets in less than 1 minute. Damn.
I expect Jerry's World to fly too.
Yeah. Are they opening up all the seats for that one, or have they not really specified?
They haven't specified yet, but it's their second time there, so I'm going to assume they are.
Yeah. And, they also have to wait and see with, how everything is at that time, with audiences, I guess. But either way, yeah, it should that should be a packed freaking house, man. That stadium just looks cool.
Easily over 100K.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, Meltzer's going to dispute it. Well,
actually, yeah, but
they said it was over 100,000, but actually it was under 80,000.
You can pull up Brian Williams and say, "I was there."
Yeah, right.
No?
Yeah, I was in the nosebleed section, and I could tell by doing a quick head count, or I asked one of the janitors at the arena how many people were there.
That would be a source.
Yeah, right. He just, look, I know WWE has notoriously inflated numbers to an extent, but, like, Meltzer disputes every single number unless it's being reported by AEW. You notice that? I don't think he's ever disputed an AEW number. That's why I sent you that thing the other day where it said Ryan Satin, who's a paid WWE shill, and Dave Meltzer, who's an unpaid AEW shill.
I don't believe that, but
here's a little under the table for you, Uncle Dave.
How do you think he affords all that stuff? It's not all the idiot subscribers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how do you think he affords that, office straight out of 1998, with his papers piled as high as his knees? That's disgusting, by the way. Like, he is married. How does his wife just, let that house, or let that room exist in her house without saying anything? Like, mother of God. She must just never look in that room. It's just like, you know what? Your office is yours. I'm not even going to look. I don't care. I don't want to know.
It might not be a good thing.
Yeah, right. Over at TNAWrestling.com, they have officially announced that Jeff Hardy's suspension has been lifted. Look, I'm going to say this right now. This story could be at any time.
Which time?
Yeah. And he will be appearing at TNA's Sacrifice pay-per-view on Sunday, August 14th. This suspension came after his absence at Hard Justice. Hardy missed numerous flights out of North Carolina to Orlando the day of the pay-per-view. Hardy ended up arriving after the pay-per-view was over, and he showed up at the hotel that the TNA workers stay at. The late arrival, though, forced TNA to substitute Sean Waltman to face Raven. I remember the show.
I remember it, too, and I remember, I think Raven getting in trouble for calling him X-Pac.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part. But this has stuck with me forever, but I couldn't remember who got replaced, because I was looking forward to this match. It was a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match. And I was
Real name.
Yeah, right. And I was like, okay, cool. I was looking forward to this. It was a built-up storyline. And then just no explanation. Jeff's not there. Here's Sean Waltman. And I'm like,
no explanation. It was because of unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah. Definitely not substance related. No, never even a thought. I don't know if it was or not. I'm just saying. Safe bet though. And
I don't know if it was an issue back then. I don't think it was yet. I could be wrong on that.
I think he was let go from WWE for that. I think that's why he was in TNA to begin with, because he wouldn't lay off the drugs, and then and WWE was like, you need to get some help, and he said no, and he ran off to TNA.
He said no, and they said go to rehab, right?
Good Lord, you said that. All right.
We'll cut that out.
Here's a name, blast from the past for you. Ryan Triton Wilson has been removed from the Superstars page over at TNAWrestling.com.
Oh, no!
Triton's contract expired with TNA recently, and it still remains to be seen if he will be brought back later. Spoilers, he was not.
Remember the T3? That was awesome.
Wasn't it just an F5?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, this was one of the first characters that TNA did, a bunch of vignettes for. They really built him up like he was going to be something special. And then he was there for, 2 weeks?
It was probably 1 week, considering they probably taped a bunch of episodes, so. But
yeah.
A couple shows.
Yep. And I remember his theme song was, the opening of the British Invasion theme.
Yeah, right.
It was weird. According to reports, Scott D'Amore has thrived in his role as the head of TNA's creative department. Wow, how times have not changed. The team also includes Dutch Mantel, Terry Taylor, and Mike Tenay, Bill Banks, and Jeremy Borash.
Man, there's a freaking rogues gallery of people for you, huh?
I know, right? Dirty Dutch, the Red Rooster, the Professor, Bill Banks, and JB. From what is being said, Moore has a lot of ambition and seems focused on taking full advantage of this opportunity to prove himself in a position of authority within the company. Well, it's 2021. He's basically running the damn place, so here's that.
And he was on AEW commentary a couple times, so he's everywhere.
Yeah, I know. He's just all over the damn place. He still looks like a grown-up version of the overweight kid from the new It films. But
also, I don't know if it's just me, but he looks to have de-aged a little bit.
I just feel like he just doesn't age. Like he just looks the same.
Looks better than he has before, I thought. But...
Yeah, well, he like combs his hair down and he's not like spiking it and whatever. And I think he lost like a little bit of weight. I can't tell. Yeah, so, and apparently I found out that him and Christian Cage are good friends. You know, Canadians.
I think he worked in his territory a couple times before WWE.
Makes sense. So yeah.
It was the same one that Jarrett won the NWA title from Raven. Is it Windsor City Wrestling?
Yeah, that rings a bell.
It's not WCW though, so it has to be something else, but it's Windsor something.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, so that would explain why Christian Cage is the Impact champion now, I guess. I don't know.
Just want to say though, it's been a lot of Canadians.
Oh yeah, their last couple champions. Wow. Well, hey, at least it's not Rich effing Swann. A couple more stories here to close this out. One more TNA. Well, it's not TNA related, but I think he's in TNA at this time. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong here. But according to PWInsider.com, Shane Douglas is in the process of finalizing dates to take Hardcore Homecoming on the road this fall. Is he still in TNA in 05?
I know in 05 he's managing the Naturals, the newly franchised Naturals.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's in August he's still there, so yes and no.
Okay. Well, the prospective markets include Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Florida, Buffalo, and Poughkeepsie. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, he's really getting around, huh?
Yeah, Poughkeepsie. Wow. Fans will get to vote on venues soon via a poll on the official website. There was originally talk of running several shows in New York on the weekend of August 20th, but nothing materialized. At this point, the plan is to get the show on the road in late September or October. Did you watch any of the Hardcore Homecomings?
I think for some reason I have the first one on DVD, but that's it.
Find it in the bargain bin?
I probably did.
Oh, man. The only thing I remember off the top of my head about the Hardcore Homecoming DVDs is, well, the first one is there were a couple guys there that weren't at the One Night Stand shows. And the other thing is they did like a whole dedication where they brought people out to the ring. I can't remember if it's the first one or second one. They brought people out to the ring that were either a partner of or related to, in some way, shape, or form, somebody who'd passed on that used to be on NECW. And at Sunny, the crowd chanted, "Show your tits," the whole time she was eulogizing Chris Candido.
That's a classy bunch of people in Philly, man.
Oh, yeah. And I was just like, wow, this is, I can't get much more classy than that, man. You know, this woman is, trying to talk about her now deceased fiance, and all you can chant is "Show your tits." Cool. Whatever.
Shouldn't be a problem for him to see him now.
Oh no, they're all over the damn place. Hey, like I said, man, you get curious enough, look up Sunny Side Up. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will never be that curious. Sorry.
Well, according to Conrad, she pooted.
She what?
She pooted.
What the hell does that mean?
She farted.
Oh, good. That freak. I knew. This looks like somebody that would watch that. Good Lord, why does that not surprise me?
Oh man. Well, I told you he had that other story about China in one of her tapes, and yeah. But anyway.
I guess
Paul
he gets
Heyman
around it with the research excuse, probably, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I was doing research about that time that China got drilled by a dude dressed like Mean Gene Okerlund.
Good God.
All right. Final story here. Paul Heyman
and not a moment too soon.
Paul Heyman is receiving a great deal of praise for his work as the head booker for Ohio Valley Wrestling, with the PWTorch.com newsletter reporting that he's already greatly improved locker room morale. Heyman is said to be less controlling and more interested in wrestler input than Jim Cornette, which is ultimately leading to a happier and more respectable roster. You don't say. Yeah, you mean Paul Heyman, the guy who, squeezed blood out of a turnip with the ECW quote-unquote talent? Yeah, I'm sure he could get the best out of him. And I know Jim Cornette, as far as, booking, I think, has some stuff to offer. But seriously, listen to the dude. Who'd want to work for that?
Well, he's stuck in the past, whereas Heyman clearly evolves.
Right. Like, can you imagine, you come to Paul and you're like, hey, I got this idea for my character. If I may have another volley, sir. And then, whereas with Jim Cornette, it's like, hey, I have this idea for a character. Fuck you, motherfucker!
First of all, you ain't coming out of the box. You ain't getting me over.
Yeah. We're gonna have you come out of a goddamn box. I'm gonna smack the shit out of you if you do it wrong.
Stupid Santino.
Motherfucker. Oh, man.
It was Santino, wasn't it?
Yep, smacked the shit out of him because he refused to act afraid for the boogeyman. Literally, laughed on camera. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, he did F up. But, dude, you can't just walk up and smack your employees across the face.
Doesn't he legit know Sambo?
Yeah.
Probably could have killed him.
Probably. I think Jim Cornette's he's got 2 bad knees and heaven knows what else. Man. Well, just like, I liked Bruce Pritchard's quote about this when Conrad relayed this about Cornette said he took a handgun and pointed it at Brock Lesnar and threatened him, whatever. And Bruce was like, yeah, I don't know about all that. He was like, I have a feeling Brock would have taken that handgun and shoved it up his ass.
And emptied it.
Right. And then F5 the crap out of him. Oh, man. Anyway, that's all I got from the news and notes. You ready to dive into the event?
Nothing on TNA's new big deal with TNN?
No. That's, isn't that...
I remember that being a huge August story.
In 05?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I believe we covered it in an earlier podcast. I want to say we covered it on maybe our WrestleMania 21.
We probably covered it actually in our Unbreakable. I think we did that one.
No, we haven't done it yet. It's coming up.
Did we do that much? Oh. Well, you'll probably have it for that then. Because Unbreakable's the last pay-per-view before they get back on TV, so.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, I believe we covered that story a bit on our WrestleMania 21 episode because I think that was around the time WWE officially announced they were going to, going back to USA, and Spike announced they were picking up, or TNN, Spike, whatever, announced that they were picking up, TNA. Could be wrong, but I think so. Either way. Go back now in the archives. Come on, people. We're covering a few 2005 story events this year. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to cover WWE SummerSlam 2005. Right for this.
Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Oh, yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
Oh, we share the room.
Shared a room.
We share the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The
Broadcast.
Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAS. They nearly stuffed up the ending.
Yeah, it's alright, good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Yeah, but we don't spell it with a C, we spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
And we are back.
So we're back.
Time for WWE SummerSlam 2005. Took place August 21st, 05. The tagline, Hogan versus Michaels for the first time ever. The first time, brother. The last time, brother. Oh, brother.
Guess he had no reason to ever wrestle a rocker, so it probably was the first time ever.
Yeah, right. The venue was the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. Attendance was 18,176, and the pay-per-view buy rate was 640,000 buys.
I'm pretty sure this is the exact same venue where Hogan wrestled Sting.
Huh. For Starrcade?
Mm-hmm. Because it was always in Washington.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, so Hogan had some triumphs here. Not to spoil anything, but, I mean, seriously, this was like 16 years ago. Catch up. But this is actually the second most purchased SummerSlam in history, just behind the 1998 event. That's a cool stat for this. By the way, SummerSlam 1998, now in the archives, that was Highway to Hell, right?
It was.
All right. Definitely now in the archives. That was a damn good one as well. From Madison Square Garden.
Dude, it had the oddities on it.
Oh, yeah. That was the only thing you needed to know about the show. Had the oddities. Move on.
Oh, I don't know why the hell that's the one I went with, but...
That, and then Jeff Jarrett getting a haircut. I mean, come on, man. Good stuff.
It literally was a haircut. It was a hair versus hair match, but he got a haircut.
Yeah. Loser gets a better haircut match. We start the show off with members of the military holding up the Stars and Stripes while Lillian Garcia sings the Star Spangled Banner.
Help me out here. What was going on in the world this time? Because that was significant. It's like they were holding the flag. It wasn't just... And they never really do this for SummerSlam.
I think it was just because they were in D.C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's this, and then the thing with Hogan later. They point out that there are politicians in the audience. So, I will say I appreciate that in the opening package, Peacock didn't edit out Remedy by Cedar. So WWE must.
Yeah, man, that song's badass. That's probably my all-time favorite SummerSlam song.
Yeah, I freaking love that one. I mean, I don't have the list, bro, right in front of me, but I mean, I don't know, man. I'm pretty partial to that Demi Lovato song that they
only
played.
because you were there.
Yeah. Cool for the Summer. That was it. See, I couldn't even remember the damn name of it. I remember you and I were there, and I think I looked at you and I was like, "This is what they picked," and you're like, "Yeah." Whatever.
She got flack for that song because people were saying that she was making it be like, don't be open. Because one of the lyrics is, don't tell your mother. It's like, so you're telling them not to be open and all this stuff. And
yeah, I don't know.
Now I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, maybe he promoted that.
Yeah. The whole song is basically about her having a first time like lesbian relationship or encounter.
Which fits right in with SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, because when I think of SummerSlam, I think of, lesbians. Anyway.
Maybe in 2002 when Eric Bischoff was doing HLA stuff.
Good Lord.
That was around SummerSlam time, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, this first match on the card was Orlando Jordan defending the WWE United States title against Chris Benoit in 16 seconds.
This was a banger, man.
Oh, yeah. That whole 16 seconds was some good action.
Prom night flashback.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, a listener of the show sent me something. I'm sure he sent to you too. It was like, how long can you last? And it was a picture of the zebra striped gum.
About a minute and a half, give or take.
Yeah. Well, I sent him the thing from Family Guy where Peter was like, zebra striped gum, and he puts it in his mouth. He's like, oh. This is literally the whole match, by the way. After Jordan backs Benoit into the corner, Benoit ends up hitting a German suplex into a crippler crossface for the submission victory. Uncle Dave gave it a quarter of a star. I gave it a dud because it wasn't a match. What say you?
Same. I didn't even rate it.
Yeah.
I guess technically 1 star, but I'm not even going to give it a rating because it was just over quickly.
I like the follow-up to this where they had like a split screen on SmackDown of showing this match on one side, and on the other side, Chris Benoit is making a cup of coffee. And
I remember that, and I feel like the match was over before the coffee was done being made.
Yep. He's like stirring in the cream and sugar, mixing it up. Good Lord. But Now we go backstage where Vicky
Do we have
Guerrero.
to give a disclaimer for this?
What?
You know what?
No, you guys know what you're getting into. But backstage, Vicky Guerrero approaches Eddie while he's trying to while he's tying his boots, and she says this isn't about Dominik, and she says that it's clearly about Eddie trying to hurt Rey. Eddie says tonight he's going to beat Rey, and Vicky needs to go be unsupportive somewhere else. He then sits down and reassures himself that he will beat Rey Mysterio. I don't know. I wasn't super into the storyline. I thought it was kind of weird. I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't hate it as bad. But at the time, I was like, dude, like, what the hell is this?
Oh, they had to. I think they were running out of stuff.
Yeah, but they wanted to keep putting these two in matches against each other for some reasons. Some reasons.
One of my favorite parts to laugh at this whole thing is like no one ever booed Eddie.
Yeah, right. I love
it's funny, him and Shawn Michaels the exact same time turned heel about the exact same time. Nobody would really hardcore boo them.
Right.
Now, obviously, Hogan and Mysterio were more cheered, but not more cheered than they were booed, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah. I actually have Eddie's I'm Your Poppy t-shirt. Did you ever get that one?
I did have it. I do have that figure, too.
Ah, yeah, so do I. I just love when he introduced the shirt. He's like, see my new t-shirt? And he's like, I'm your poppy. He's like so proud of it. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. I was just like face palming during that segment. I'm like, he has a shirt.
I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I was always like, wow. Because like everybody wore that shirt on Raw and SmackDown after he passed away when they did the tribute shows. Like, you guys literally couldn't have picked a better shirt. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was cool to do that, but like, just had a bunch of shirts and you pick that one.
I know, not even the Scarface one. Like,
yeah, right.
But anyway, next match here, you want to talk about being uncomfortable. It was Edge with Leta taking on Matt Hardy. This match went just shy of 5 minutes. You heard me right. This blood feud match went less than 5 minutes.
Now, if you want to do the math here, it's a grand total of 5 minutes for the first two matches.
Yep. That's weird. We're kicking off SummerSlam weird. Trust me, it gets better. But the crowd is electric.
Literally right after this.
Yeah, I know, right? But did you notice the crowd is absolutely electric for Matt Hardy here?
Yeah, he was like the first Daniel Bryan CM Punk style thing where.
Yeah, they literally chanted for Matt Hardy after they legit fired him.
Oh.
And they wouldn't stop chanting for him until they hired him back. But this thing gets jump started outside the ring. This match is more of a brawl than anything. Matt goes for the 10 punches in the corner and gets dropped face first onto the ring post and is busted open. Edge keeps beating on a bleeding, defenseless Matt until the referee calls the match off, giving the win to Edge. Uncle Dave and I both gave this dose stars. What say you?
I gave it 1. But
yeah.
There's a match the next month on pay-per-view that's like 10,000 times better.
Didn't like Edge just like clean the floor with him in this feud? Like clear the board?
He lost in the cage match the next month, but then he won on Raw to ship him to SmackDown.
Nice. I just remember, like, this is Matt's big match against Edge at SummerSlam, and this was it. I was like, what?
I don't know what it is, but if you look back on the issue of SummerSlam, they've done stuff like this a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe title matches with like a DQ or a count out finish.
Yeah, weird stuff, man.
I laugh because this is supposed to be the second biggest show of the year.
I know. It's supposed to be like basically almost like the thing that holds you over between WrestleManias.
Yeah, right.
But after the match, Matt
Not
Hardy...
a good omen for me, by the way.
You're right. But Matt Hardy gets helped to the back by referees after this match here. This next match, I have a lot more notes for this one. It's Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in a, hold on to your ass for this one, a custody of Dominik ladder match. Oh, yeah.
I need to also point out, just because, I think it's cool. So I know a lot of people don't. This Dominik is actually coming in figure form soon.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, he's going to be the first person in history to have an adult figure and a child figure. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
right.
I mean, you could only have one first, and he did it, so, you know.
Yeah, right. This match, by the way, went just shy of 20 and a half minutes. Conrad had asked Bruce Pritchard, why the hell is this a custody of Dominik ladder match? And Bruce Pritchard said, well, because you couldn't string that little bastard up a pole.
Didn't we do a TNA show recently where there was something about Jarrett and Engle's kids or something like that? Or...
Yes, it was they had something about the feud where like full custody would go to either Karen or Kurt.
And I think you had made that joke like, oh, well, whoever goes to court, well, hey, I won custody in a match on pay-per-view. Like, is that what's gonna happen here?
Yeah, right. Like, can you see in the court, like, like the ref or the judge is like, what the, Mr. Guerrero, you do not have custody of Dominik. Like, what's going on here? He's like, but I won this ladder match. Look, it's in the briefcase. And he's looking, he's like, oh, god dang, well, I guess you're right. Well, court adjourned. Boom. Oh, man. This is just only in wrestling, man. Can you put the custody of a child on the line? Yikes. Anyway, these two almost kill each other. At one point, Dominik tries to shake the ladder that Eddie's on top of.
Sure, we'll say he shakes it.
Yeah, he tries to. And Eddie just kind of like gives him a dirty look, and he comes down all angry, and he's like shouting at him. He's like, don't you love me? Give me a hug! Like, what the heck? That's one of the funniest parts of the match. Like, he's like screaming at him. He's like, give me a hug! Rey hangs from the briefcase at one point, drops and gets powerbombed on the way down by Eddie. Eddie's shaking the briefcase, trying to get it while Rey is stuck under the ladder. Rey finally just knocks the ladder over and pulls Eddie down off the briefcase. Eddie shouts, where the fuck is Vicky? God dang it!
And this is something we were talking about too after he says mother effer. But people literally thought he said F her. I don't think he's gonna say that about his wife, dude.
It sounds like it. Like, at the time, I was like, did he just say that? Like, damn, he's pissed. But, yeah. That's just, like, that's my favorite part of the whole thing. Where the F is Vicky? It's like, plain as day. But Eddie finally climbs up again, and Vicky, here she is, man. The Papa Shango effect. But Vicky gets in. Eddie tries to reason with her, and she shoves the ladder over, letting Eddie crash to the mat. She holds Eddie back as Rey finally climbs up, grabs the briefcase, and wins. Uncle Dave and I both gave this 3.5 stars. What say you?
I gave it 3. I liked it, but we've seen better ladder matches.
Yeah.
Also, not to pull the curtain back, but whose fault is that? I imagine it's not her fault.
Yeah, I know. It's like...
I just don't think it was her fault at all.
That's like it's like the Papa Shango thing. Like, you know, hasn't he come out and said nobody told him to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... if people don't know what we're talking about, WrestleMania 8, he was supposed to come out to stop, or he was supposed to come out and break up the pinfall.
It's funny in hindsight, looking back at that, when he comes out, he looks like so lost. Go back and watch it.
Well, because he's probably running the ring like, oh crap, I just blew my chance in the main event.
And the Hoosier Dome's a big place too, so we're talking like a long sprint.
Yeah, he hauled ass. There's another match, I can't think of off the top of my head, where Boss Man blew his spot. It was a match against with Austin. He was supposed to come out and get involved with that. Do you know? I
want to say Survivor Series '98.
Okay, yeah, it might have been it. Because he was supposed to come out, and according to Bruce Pritchard, he was there at Gorilla the whole time, and then he said something about I'll be right back or whatever, and he was like, he went to BS with somebody about something, and he took his sweet ass time and didn't get back in time because they turned to tell him, they're like, all right, go. And Bruce turns, he's like, where the F is Boss Man? So that one was on him. But this one, yeah, I mean, so, who is the agent for this match that was supposed to tell her to go?
Goddamn pal, I don't know.
Right. But anyway, after the match, Dominik gets in the ring to celebrate with Rey. Rey's wife, Angie, comes out to celebrate with her husband and son. Rey finally runs in, and Eddie is throwing a tantrum. Rey finally runs in while Eddie's throwing a tantrum, and he takes out Eddie with a briefcase shot to the head. Lays his ass out. So, there was another match after this, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was in a cage, I think.
Okay.
That's when Eddie would finally beat him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I knew Eddie won once. What do you think of his theme song here, by the way, with the
I
cell phone?
hated this one.
I didn't like it the first couple times I heard it, and then I warmed up to it, because it's like, this sounds more like heelish. Like, the other one makes you want to get up and dance, and you're like, man, that's a babyface theme.
For me, the problem is the first one's so damn iconic.
Yeah, it is.
That,
wow.
Like, when you mess with it, I don't feel it.
I don't get the cell phone ringing at the beginning. That one threw me off, but everything else.
Because it's a well-known fact that every Mexican has a cell phone. I don't know.
The hell with that particular ringtone. By the way, this is like MVP's second theme, VIP Ballin'. It took years for a full version of the song to be released anywhere in the public.
I think the problem with that was why when he debuted, he left like 2 months later.
Yeah, right. This one, I think he only used the song for a couple of months before he passed. And I'm like,
he changed that other one, Gangsta Lane, I think. He did change this one too. So.
Yeah, well, wasn't this it?
No, this is a remix of his Space thing. That's a completely different song.
Oh, okay. Then when does he Then I'm getting them mixed up then, because I'm thinking
he uses that one at No Mercy, I believe.
Okay, so
I don't know if he debuts it there, but I know he uses it there. But he debuts it either there or right before it. So.
Okay. Well, if anybody can help us out, hit us up on social.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll get notes.
Yeah, right. Backstage, Todd Grisham asks Chris Jericho.
Todd Pissum, because he pissed his pants in high school.
Oh, yeah,
remember,
right.
We reviewed that show, didn't we? Was it Vengeance?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's Todd Pissum, you get it right.
Yeah, didn't he say that to John Cena?
Yes.
So
they called me Todd Pissum because I peed my pants in high school.
What the hell?
You could have at least said kindergarten or something, dude. You did not say high school, but whatever.
You know that was Vince sitting there. Ha ha! God dang it, he pissed himself. It's hilarious.
No, that was a shoot. It really happened.
Yeah, right.
I believe it did.
Wow. If peeing your pants is cool, then I'm Miles Davis. Got it in. All right. Anyway, Todd Grisham asks Chris Jericho about his mindset, or what his mindset is going into his WWE title match against John Cena tonight. Jericho said that he's going to make sure Cena will be just another flavor of the month. He reminds us that he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night, in case you forgot. He hadn't reminded us yet in the last week or so. And he says that Cena just can't compare to them. He finishes by saying that after tonight, Eric Bischoff will have a champion he can be proud of. Okay. Yeah. So, we go from that to, I don't know how to describe this, but it's Eugene with Christy Hemme versus Kurt Angle. In a match that went about 4.5 minutes. Yikes. Eugene is wearing...
Now, this is Kurt Angle, by the way. The real Kurt Angle.
Yep, not a cheap imitation.
The greatest pure wrestler ever created by God. Wrestling Eugene at the second biggest show of the year. Let that sink in.
Eugene is wearing Kurt's gold medals that he won in a match, and Christy Hemme is dressed like a cheerleader. For reasons.
Because, whenever you win an Olympic gold medal, they always give you 2 little small ones.
What the hell? Oh, by the way, the thing that Kurt actually talked about, because Conrad flat out asked him, he was like, those couldn't have been your real gold medals, were they? And he said, at first they were, but then he had a scare of one going missing at one point. So ever since then, they made replicas. So, but he said for the longest time...
But they are not good replicas, because they're hella small.
Yeah, right. Well, he said for the longest time he did wear his legit gold medal to the ring. I'm like, that's that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. But Angle jumpstarts this by just beating the holy hell out of Eugene.
Jumpstart. Sorry.
Whenever Eugene starts to fight back, Angle cuts him off right away. until Eugene starts imitating other wrestlers. In the end, Angle locks in the ankle lock for the win. Uncle Dave and I both gave it dose stars. What say you?
I gave it 2 only because Kurt was in it and did what he could to make it good. Did you notice the crowd at this point was already turning on Eugene, by the way?
Yeah, right. I think
they'd had enough of this. Like, it was cute for a minute.
Dude, this was just like it had beyond run its course, and it was so like.
I thought it was funny with Regal for a minute here and there, but.
Yeah, but then it was just like they were doing stuff where they're literally like, if you take this as he's really a special needs person, people are taking advantage of and beating the crap out of a special needs guy.
Yeah, I think what they got around that, because remember they had JR say on commentary, well, he signed the contract and, he signed it on his own accord. I know, I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
I'm simply just saying this is what they said.
I know. Oh, man. Do you remember when he got the paint dumped on him by DX?
I do.
And then, like, he never cleaned it off. He just had paint on his boots forever.
Yeah, it reminded me of when Sting got the bloodbath from Vampiro.
Yeah. For God's sake. This was
He had it for like a couple of weeks, too, remember?
And I'm not going to say the word, but they used the R word for Eugene for a little while. It was about a month or so, maybe longer, until I think the TV network came down on him and was like, dude, you can't say that.
Why should you be told you can't say that? Shouldn't you just know?
Because it's Vince McMahon. He has to be told, look, man, here's the line. Don't cross it. I don't know. You're right. He should know, but he just doesn't. Like, we'll do it until we get caught. God dang it. But after the match, Kurt Angle grabs a chair.
We've heard them say way more offensive things, to be fair, though.
He dropped the N-word himself on pay-per-view.
With the A at the end. People don't seem to realize that. I'm not excusing it. I'm simply saying it is a very different context. I'm not excusing it. I'm
with Booker T standing right there.
Who also dropped that exact same word on pay-per-view at one point, too. So...
His was hilarious because it was a slip of the tongue, and I was like, holy crap. And he called Hulk Hogan that. That made it even funnier. But anyway.
I'm simply saying that people know there is a difference. I'm not saying it's okay to use the word. I'm simply saying there is a huge difference in context. So.
Yep. Anyway, after the match, Kurt Angle grabs a chair and slides it in. Chrissy Hemme tries to shield Eugene, but Angle grabs Eugene and chucks him out of the ring. He then sets
a major pop, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, he sets up a chair, and he tells the truck to hit his music. Angle then stands on the chair and makes the referee put his medal on him like he's at the Olympics, while the crowd gives him a standing ovation. Like, they cheered the crap out of him.
Now, it makes you wonder if the whole plan was him and Cena the next month, or this is what turned the tide. But whatever.
Maybe. I don't know. Why is, you don't have anything better for Kurt Angle at SummerSlam than this?
Keep in mind, the previous SummerSlam Triple H wrestled Eugene, so.
Yeah.
Apparently they thought Eugene was big enough to start to put in there these Hall of Famer legends and stuff.
Look, God bless Triple H, man. Yeah, I don't know if it's arrogance or what, but, I mean, he put himself in the ring with some clunkers, man. He had a match against the Great Khali. I believe on pay-per-view.
That's at that point, I'm starting to be like, did he?
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't.
It's like, hey, Pops, maybe don't book me against the Great Khali. No, pal, God dang it.
Wasn't that SummerSlam 2?
I don't remember that one. It probably was. Yeah. Yikes. Anyway, we get the most random segment of all time up next, by the way, where multiple divas are washing a limousine.
Okay, hold on. Last week on the pod, I clearly said that this was the best part of the whole night.
Wow.
Now, I want to point out, I stand by my word.
It's like, the ones I remember off the top of my head are Tori Wilson, Maria Kanellis,
Candice
Michelle, and I think Stacy Keibler. Yeah, so those four, they're all washing.
I remember she was there.
I think she was. It was some other blonde, I know that. Either way, they're washing a limousine and being all sexy about it, getting all soaped up. They then spray soap suds off the side of the limo to reveal the United States presidential seal. The back window rolls down to reveal Vince McMahon, who says, "Hey, why not?" And then Hail to the Chief starts to play as the camera reveals a bumper sticker on the back of the limousine that says, "McMahon for president," and the crowd cheers.
I mean, if Donald Trump could be president.
Yeah. I'm
not gonna lie, by the way, watching this live, I actually thought it was W for a minute.
Yeah, it rolls down the window and he's like, mission accomplished, girls.
No, that would be Bill Clinton, dude. Now you're getting your history mixed up.
Yeah, maybe I'm combining a couple of them. It's like, hey, you need to washify a little bit more on the back window for Kurt.
You need a washify for your washification needs.
Yeah. You got more washification instruments down there? Because the mission is not quite accomplished yet. And I haven't finished either. I mean,
Wow.
All right. Anyway, it's getting better from here on out, I promise. This match.
What do you mean? Yeah, like this is bad.
It's weird, I'll say that. It was random as hell.
Never mind.
Good Lord. But this match is The Undertaker versus Randy Orton rematch from WrestleMania. It goes 17 minutes, 17 seconds. I don't think this was quite as good as a WrestleMania match, but it was damn good. Towards the end, an old man in a ball cap gets in the ring and gets escorted out. This distracts The Undertaker long enough for Orton to hit an RKO on The Undertaker for the win. Uncle Dave gave it 2 3/4 stars. I gave it an even 3. What do you say?
I gave it 3. I'm right there with you. I don't think it was as good as the WrestleMania match, but damn good.
I can't remember off the top of my head what I gave the WrestleMania match. I want to say it was 3.5, maybe 4.
I think I said 4 on that one. Also, when I was watching this back, I forgot about this moment. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I do remember that when watching it live, I feel like I knew it was Bob Orton.
Oh, yeah. Looking back, okay, I actually gave the WrestleMania match 3 stars, but I still think it was better than this. Not that this match was bad, by the way. It just, like I said, it wasn't as good. I think it picks up more halfway through the match. But after the match, Randy Orton hugs the old man in the ramp, and he takes off the old man's hair and prosthetic face to reveal that it's Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.
Still carrying Roddy Piper's bags, by the way.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Then the Undertaker gets angry. He storms after them up the ramp. This would lead to a lot of stuff involving the Undertaker, Orton, and the Ortons. And it culminated...
Getting burned in a casket.
Oh, yeah. And it all culminated with Bob Orton getting shown the door in WWE because they found out he had, Hep C, and he never divulged that information, and he was bleeding around the Undertaker, and apparently the Undertaker almost killed him.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, if I found out a dude was openly bleeding near me and he had a disease that can be transmitted through the blood, yeah, I wouldn't be super happy about that. But anyway, up next is the WWE title match. It's John Cena defending the title against Chris Jericho. This went just shy of 15 minutes. I feel like this was good, but somewhat clunky in spots. Could just be John Cena's style. But the crowd was the most electric during this match than they had been all night, I think. At this point, John Cena was really letting his acting chops show when he was selling for Jericho. I think, didn't he do the Marine around this time, or he was getting ready to?
I think he'd already done it. That's when he got stabbed by Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That effing storyline. Dude, as a kid, I bought into that. I thought he legit got stabbed off screen. I wanted to believe it, damn it. I mean, I didn't want him to get stabbed, but it's just, I was like, why would they make that up? Well, now we know.
There is a rumor that this was supposed to be Christian's spot, but he already left.
Oh, yeah, he was in TNA at this point.
Or wait, right. No. They shipped him to SmackDown, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, he was...
Okay, hold on, I'm getting things confused. Right. I think he was supposed to be, the next match. It was supposed to be in the next match, not JBL. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. They went to SmackDown, it was supposed to be that, and then they took it away, and that's the rumor, that's why he left. Don't know if that's true.
Yeah, rumor was that, especially around this time, Vince McMahon kept, like, making remarks about how ugly Christian was, and he wanted to, like, superimpose a blue dot over his face whenever he was on the screen.
I think his wife might disagree.
Yeah, right. Kudos to him, by the way, for having the same wife for, like, ever. That's a rarity in wrestling. But anyway.
Maybe him and Kevin Owens, and that's it. Something about Canadians.
Yeah, right. Hey, have you seen Kevin Owens' wife? I mean, I wouldn't want to trade that model in either. But Jericho finally goes for a move off the ropes. John Cena tilt-a-whirls him into an FU.
He did not have to win with a move off the ropes, by the way. That was...
Wow. But John Cena tilt-a-whirls him into an FU for the win. Uncle Dave gave it 3 3/4 stars. I didn't think it was quite that good. I gave it 3. What say you?
I gave it 3. I think at this point, this was Cena's best match, though. Ever. At this point.
Yeah, this was good. I thought that was a cool way to get into the FU. Like off the ropes, like a tilt-a-whirl into it. That was pretty sweet.
This is before anti-Cena, so he's getting cheered like hell, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Jericho was getting some cheers. It was like back and forth for him, but yeah, John Cena was still pretty electric for him. It wasn't just little kids at this point either, by the way. It was like everybody liked Cena, me included. He's still.
I think somewhere between here and WrestleMania was when people turn on him.
Yeah, and he had like his fans were still called the Chain Gang, not the C Nation. He was still doing the FU, not the Attitude Adjustment. So, yeah.
I never thought about it like that. That's a huge change.
Yeah, right.
FU and a chain gang, literally by the rope.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
But, yep, we get 2 world title matches back-to-back here. Up next, it is Batista defending his World Heavyweight title against John Bradshaw Layfield in a no-holds-barred match that went 9 minutes, 6 seconds. JBL jumps Batista on the stage.
We got to point out, this is Batista's hometown, by the way, so...
Oh,
I mean, yeah, people love him, but it's also that. So, I guess
yeah, that's true.
Like,
hell yeah, he does. And
I want to also say this is like the first year of like him as Batista, not just like the Evolution guy.
Right.
And to me, 2005 is his greatest year ever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's when I really became a fan of his. 2004, 2005. Is when I really became a fan. JBL jumps Batista on the stage as soon as Batista finishes his machine gun pyro. They brawl through the crowd. Another one. They brawl through the crowd to ringside, and Batista spears JBL through the barricade. Both men take turns beating the dog crap out of each other in the ring. Batista kicks out of a clothesline from hell at one point. In the end, he hits a spinebuster on JBL, followed by a Batista bomb. He picks him up. Batista bombs him one more time on the steel steps for the pinfall win.
That was sick, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because JBL had brought the bottom of the steps in, and didn't he do that to Triple H once, or was it just a spinebuster?
He was a spinebuster, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it was one of our first shows, wasn't Vengeance?
It was Vengeance, yeah, but I don't remember what movie did.
Yeah.
It was in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, right. Go back in the archives now. It's one of our very first podcasts. We talk about that. But yeah. Either way, Uncle Dave and I disagreed on this one. He only gave it 2 stars. I actually gave it 3. What say you?
I gave it 2 as well. I just like, I feel like it could have been a lot better, but it also could have been a lot worse too. So
I thought this was some of the best of JBL just because he shined in these kind of matches. And he wasn't that good of a wrestler. Like, he was kind of boring. But in these kind of matches, I felt he did great because he just gets to beat on people.
You just called a wrestling god boring, but whatever.
Dude, that's why I couldn't stand his WWE title run, because he was just, his matches were like, ugh. Unless he was in there with somebody that was like way better than him. Like,
which was a lot of the time.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, they dragged sometimes. Like, you remember his matches against Big Show?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, those sucked. All right, well, we're about to get into the main event, which means our second to last break is here. When we come back, we're going to dive into the reason we're here. Main event time, right after this.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
And we are back.
Yeah, we're back.
Last time for the event. It's Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan in a Legend versus Icon match. It went 21 and a half minutes.
That match.
Yeah.
And you'll know why in a second.
Well, the crowd blows for Shawn, but they absolutely shatter the frickin' roof for Hogan. When Hulk is on the stage, a giant American flag unravels behind him and he salutes it. Shawn laughs in the ring and makes a digging motion like he's getting buried. I don't know why that always made me laugh. It's like, dude, he's just like full on like F kayfabe. But you can't help but notice the stark contrast in size, by the way, between these two men. Is that just me, or did you?
No, but to be fair, Shawn's like a small dude too.
He is, and Hogan's massive. So, but put them two together against each other, it looks like a son is wrestling with his dad.
Yeah, his son was balding.
Good lord. Hey, you never know. Chavo Jr. was balding at one point until he went to Bosley's. Almost like
that may be a Latin thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, you got some friends you can ask.
You got a little thin on top as we speak, so I'm gonna move on.
Almost from the beginning, Shawn Michaels is doing a sell job like Lex Luthor does for Superman. Shawn eventually jumps on Hogan like a damn pit bull and just hammers away with right hands, eventually busting Hogan open. Hulk's blood runs down his face and runs into his eyes. When Hogan goes for a big boot at one point, Shawn pulls the ref in the way and he gets bumped. Shawn eventually locks in a sharpshooter to taunt the crowd, and a new ref slides in. Hogan breaks it and kicks Shawn into the second ref, bumping him. This is a Hogan match. You got to get multiple ref bumps in there, brother.
It's usually Earl Hebner, but
I know. Shawn low blows Hogan and gets a chair, nailing Hogan in the head with it. HBK does end up hitting Sweet Chin Music, but Hogan kicks out and hulks up. Was that a Young Buck super kick? Because that was a no-sell.
Nah, it's only a Young Buck one if it's followed by 12 more.
Yeah, which are all no-sold.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's right there in the tail. You need 12 of them.
Yeah, right. And nobody gets pinned off of them, ever. But anyway, Hogan hits the punches, the big boot. Shawn pops up and flops down. My favorite part of that was, like, he hits the big boot and, like, turns around, and Shawn gets up and, like, does a front flip and lands on the mat. And Hogan turns around and...
Did you notice that Hogan smiled at that part, by the way?
What I noticed, like, he turns around and he sees, like, Shawn standing after it, and he throws his arms up almost like, what the F? Yeah, like, that's the reaction I got from it, because he was like, what? And then he flops over and he's like, oh. Oh, man. Freaking Shawn, just all damn night with that. But Hogan calls for it. He gets the crowd all fired up, and he nails that leg drop for the win. Good night, folks. This may have been Hulk's very last good match. Uncle Dave and I both gave it...
him and Orton next year is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that one. But either way, Uncle Dave and I both gave this 3.5 stars. What say you?
I gave it 3 as well.
Damn good match.
You would think all that flopping around and stuff detracted from it. It did a little bit, but not enough to bring it down to a horrible match, though.
It was goofy and clearly oversold, but at the same time, it wasn't like super like
Am I the only one that thought it added a little bit to it?
It did add a little bit to it. That's why I didn't hate it too much. It made me laugh at times.
I mean, it wasn't quite like Young Buck stupid. It was pretty freaking close. I don't know why the hell they just came out twice, by the way. But, they do crap like this too. But, like...
Yeah. Well, this is why, like I said, like, Shawn is, like, half the size of Hulk. So you could realistically see he's getting his ass bumped around by Hogan,
Or just thrown, period.
Yeah, right. But after a pose down from the Hulkster, Shawn stands up and puts out his hand saying, I needed to know, and I found out. Hogan shakes his hand, They jaw jack a bit before, and then Shawn leaves. Hulk gives Shawn respect before doing another pose down because Hulk must pose, pal.
Well, considering the buy rate for this, is he wrong?
Nope. And it's yet another. This was the final close of SummerSlam Hulk Hogan pose down, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he went closes next year.
Yeah, so you got to get one more in. I mean, I don't know how many, I didn't count them up, but I'm sure there were a handful of SummerSlams he closed in the past with his pose downs. I mean, hell, we just covered one.
Probably from 88 to 91 at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, if anybody goes back and listens, 2 weeks ago, we covered 91. He closed the show there. And, well, his partner is long gone, at the end of the match.
Sure. 88, him and Macho Man pose probably, and 89, him and Brutus do, so, yeah.
What closes
90 doesn't close, it's the cage match, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, he skipped a year, so this is the fourth, probably.
Well, he skipped a year, but, it was the Warrior, so it was another guy probably posing. I don't remember if he posed or not, but it was the Warrior, so there you go.
God dang it, pal, Warrior must pose.
Who they attempt to replace Hogan with, so it all comes around to full circle, right?
Yep. Yeah, man, Hulk Hogan was playing second fiddle, man. He took on Earthquake in the second to last match.
I mean, didn't have a count-out finish, too? That was stupid. So the horrible SummerSlam finishes go back a long way, huh?
Yeah. Man, we'll have to review that one someday. It will not be next year, but it'll be someday. But anyway, that does it for that event. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to let you know the final ratings of the show and what is coming up next week going into September here on the podcast.
Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Fanatics offers the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and gear from all the leagues, teams, and players that you love, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, NCAA, NASCAR, soccer, and golf. They even offer esports gear for the gamers among us. You can shop by brand, sport, team, or player. And if you sign up for Fan Cash, you get exclusive weekly deals. So head on over to Fanatics.com today. Fanatics is a sponsor of the Main Event Marks and Unhinged Sports Network. The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Now back to the show.
And we're back. Final ratings time.
Oh, before we get going, hold on. There you go.
I had to get one in, huh? Yours. I got mine in at the beginning. You get yours in at the end. Always bringing up the rear. Anyway. Good Lord.
Did you see Nikki Ash last night? Never mind. Keep going.
Oh, good Lord. Final ratings from IMDb gave this show a 7.1 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it a 6.8 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So, B, what say you?
I said B minus, so I'm right there.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show. Definitely heavily recommended. The main event I thought was awesome. The last 3 matches were really good. Or 4 matches, excuse me. So
I think you can skip over the first 2 and start from there if you want with the ladder match.
Yeah, you can do the ladder match.
Although you don't have to, because even if you don't, you're only wasting 5 minutes of your life, so you're fine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because if you think about it, the bad matches on the show were a combined 10 minutes.
Almost like, you know what, we know it's going to suck, so let's get them out of the way quick. Which I can heavily respect.
Yeah, right. Because the first 2 matches were combined, what do you say, 5 minutes? And then, the next match is 4.5 minutes. So, you're wasting 10 minutes. And the rest of the show is damn good. So, I like it. It was a really good show. I'm glad I finally sat and watched it start to finish. Don't regret it. And, I guess that means we're officially into September, man. And, we're opening up September with 2 25-year anniversary shows back to back. Both from 96, same month, first, on September 1st, next week, we are covering WCW's Fall Brawl 1996.
This was the first time the NWO was all together in a match.
Oh, yeah, War Games. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, looking forward to seeing that. I've seen it in the past, but I'm looking forward to seeing it again and jogging my memory. Well, this will be a good trip down memory lane.
I'm not even going to look, but I only remember the War Games match off the top of my head, so that would be fun. I'm almost certain there's a couple of epic Cruiserweight matches on there.
I'm sure.
Mark knows in WWE, so we know Johnny B. Bad's not opening, so there's that.
Right. And then September 8th, we're covering WWF In Your House Mind Games for its 25-year anniversary. And so those both took place in the same month. It'll be nice to look at. That was another one.
That one could be a hidden gem. I know Mankind Michaels is damn good. I don't remember the rest. Maybe Vader and Sid have a match? I'm blinking. No, that's Buried Alive, so I don't know.
I just remember it was a good show. I got to go back and watch it again.
I like it when you pick the ones that I forgot all about.
Yeah, I don't remember the entire card start to finish, but I remember it was good. Looking forward to going back and watching that. But yeah, September will be a fun month, and we'll talk about more as the month goes on. It's a 6-show month, so that'll be fun.
It's a month where TJ and I get to physically hang out.
Oh yeah, Extreme Rules.
Not just verbally.
Yep, looking forward to that for sure. That'll be fun. Yeah, we'll bring more on that as time draws near as well. But if for all of you listening on the podcast feed, definitely don't forget to subscribe and leave a review, 5 stars. And if you're listening on the podcast feed, you want to catch us live, unhingedsn.airtime.pro live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The immediate replays right after at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Thanks for joining me today, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you all next week with Fall Brawl 96.